Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of Hockey Inside Out. This bonus episode will answer a question from one of our viewers. This one comes from Gary Dunton, 3959. He asks, any news on Chris Wideman? What's his injury? It's a back injury. And is there any timeline when he'll be back in the lineup? Now, prior to the show, I Googled Chris Wideman to see what he's up to, and it looks like him and his wife are opening a whole bunch of hair salons in the St. Louis area, one of those blow-dry bars that are very popular. You go there, you get your hair done. I'm sure the three of you visit those places quite often. So it seems like he's a little bit busy with his off-ice life at the moment. Stu, you're on the Canadiens Daily. Any updates for them if they're expecting to see Chris Wideman back anytime soon?
No, and Chris Wideman's from the St. Louis area, and Chris Wideman's one of my favorite athletes to talk with. He's a really good guy. The Canadiens it was unexpected at training camp. They said he had a back and he was going to be out. He was on injured reserve, and there has been nothing. There has been no update. There's been nothing since then. So it's one of those, the Canadiens might have told him he has a back injury, or maybe give him the option. Do you want to go play in Laval this year, or would you rather have a back injury and hang around the team and open hair salons or wherever else he's doing? The injured reserve list with the NHL, I mean, we saw it recently with Ryan Reeves, the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's been on IR, and he said, I've been healthy for 2 weeks. And he's on injured reserve. So there's a difference between injured reserve and long-term injured reserve. Injured reserve, just the team doctor says the guy's hurt, you can't play. Long-term injured reserve, you need to have a player needs to sign off on it. So for Chris Wideman, he's in the last year of his contract, $762,000. And I think he's not going to play. I mean, he's 34 years old. And I think this was basically a farewell, hang around the team. You see him in the press box with the injured players once in a while. But I think when this season started, the Canadiens decided Chris Wideman's not going to play, whether his back is hurting or not hurting. But he's still a good guy to have around the team. The players all love him. He's one of their favorite teammates. And good for him. He's got a year and collect his paycheck, and then he'll move on, and I guess he'll be a hair salon owner.
Yeah, I guess it's obviously fair to say that he's got lots of time to spend in the salon and and hone his skills in the salon. Unfortunately, hopefully it's not the injury is not something that's going to that he's going to have to deal with for his future. But it's what it is, and let's move on.
I guess we'll know he's for sure done if he develops an allergy to his equipment, right, and gets traded to Arizona. That's the move across the NHL. I mean, the NHL teams don't do that. Clearly, they don't do that. It's all above board. But you never know. Yeah, I think Chris Wideman, the fact that we haven't heard from him, I guess, is his being a good teammate and not being a distraction. I think you mentioned Ryan Reeves there, Stu. It's a totally different situation there where they brought in a guy who was supposed to be a glue guy and ends up being a wild distraction. And, whether he's on the ice, he's getting blown apart, goals against, one of the worst in the league. And when he's off the ice, he won't stop talking. So, yeah, I guess it's a better situation for Chris Wideman at least.
Yeah, I mean, if there is a back issue there with Wideman, I mean, as Rick said, I hope it's not something that affects him moving forward. But the Canadiens had no plans, I don't think, for him to play this season. And if he was healthy, he probably would have been sent to Laval. And at this stage in his career, why would he want to go down and play in Laval, right? Unless he really, really loves still playing hockey. But good for him. It looks like he's got his life after hockey. He's got it set up, and that can be a big problem for a lot of guys when they retire. They just don't know. They have lots of money, but they just don't know what to do with themselves. And these guys retire. I said he's 34 years old. He'll be retired at 34. Usually in a regular career, that's sort of when your career is just taking off, right? You're 34 years old. You're starting to figure out. And hockey players, it ends, and when it ends, it ends. And so good for him that he's got something prepared to do life after hockey.
And if you have a question for us that you'd like us to answer on a future episode, please leave it in the comments section below and check out Hockey Inside Out to see our full episode.